armed with only a camera. America's most daring journalists risk their lives to bring you breaking news. Tonight on Stringer's Essay. Sheriff Resnick cracks down on gangs in the Jamestown area, much to the ire of its residents. And a street takeover turns deadly as one male is shot dead by deputies. We're riding shotgun with Stringer's Essay. Tonight we're following Stalker, and before he even reaches his destination, he comes across an officer unconscious at the wheel. After turning on his lights, he moves to the back to grab a med kit and call for an ambulance. However, it's a race against time. They need the tracks shut down before anything worse can happen. She's bleeding from her head, but he can't move her in case her neck is broken. All he can do is wait. Medical arrives. She's going to be fine. With that sorted, Gabriel hurries to his destination because tonight he's following a very serious tip. Something big's about to go down, and he's going to be the first one there to capture the best shots.
So, I'm waiting here in gang territory. I've received a tip that today the LSSD are moving into Jamestown to tackle TGS gang activity as part of an injunction. The challenge here is to get the best shots and try to stay alive in the process. Some gang members are receptive to cameras, but generally they aren't. Right now, I look like a cop, and I have no doubt they know I'm here. That's the risk with using retired service vehicles.
A white car is spotted leaving the Jamestown projects. But then it comes back, and it's heading straight for Stalker. The two males in the white vehicle turn around and come by to check him out. It's time to move. Stalker parks on a quieter street, where he's certain he'll be able to capture units from the sheriff's department rolling in when it's time. He's focusing on a male in a hoodie when his prediction pays off. The LSSD's mobile communications unit rolls in, escorted by numerous LSSD vehicles.
The last time I saw something like this was, when Operation Safe Streets and Operation Longreach moved into Little Seoul. There was a massive pushback from residents, and since then, I don't think LSSD have been back. With the newly elected sheriff, however, that might change.
The area is crawling with deputies of varying ranks. They set up station on a nearby street and get ready to move into Jamestown. There's shock even among deputies as the newly elected Sheriff Resnick turns up in person to witness the operation firsthand.
So, I'm going to go check out what's currently happening at the projects, then I'll head back to follow deputies as they head into Jamestown on foot.
When Stalker arrives at the projects, residents are already being questioned by the SEB. He heads back to the mobile communications unit and finds the group ready to walk into the projects. Standing in the middle is Sheriff Resnick, taking a personal approach in his new initiative. Deputies spread out into every corner of the projects, searching behind buildings and keeping up their guard. Anything could happen at any moment. Chief Shane Barrera comes over. He wants to know what Stalker thinks of Resnick's first actions as sheriff. The interview is cut short by gunfire, however. Stalker ducks behind cover. It's just a beanbag deployment. Chief Barrera reassures Stalker that they're okay. The interview continues, but they're not out of the woods yet. All seems peaceful, but it's the calm before the storm. Deputies kick into immediate action as gunfire echoes throughout the projects. Everyone rushes to the aid of their colleagues as one male resident is shot dead. They can't be sure he's dead. He might still have the capacity to fire on deputies, so they move in with caution. Heavily armored and bearing a shield, they approach the wounded resident. He's dead. There's nothing more they can do for him. One resident approaches Stalker to discuss what's going on. He seems resentful, insulting both Resnick and Ibrahim. He says there's better ways of handling gang activity and suggests that instead of a show of force, there should instead be needle exchanges, welfare programs, and reintegration. But then he shouts out his affiliation with TGS, and deputies react rapidly. Descending upon the male Stalker was interviewing. They're not happy with him. He's told to get up against the van. He brings up his First Amendment rights and freedom of the press. They tell him he's in violation of the gang injunction by associating himself with TGS. He's detained and taken away by the LSSD. Gunfire breaks out in the direction of the gas station. Stalker runs into danger against his better judgment in hopes of finding the best footage for local news agencies. A male can be seen running with his hands up. Moments later, men can be seen climbing distant rooftops into backyards. Are these the shooters? It seems they're getting away. Deputies detain another male in the back alley near the projects. He's not their guy. They let him go this time. Stalker heads back to the mobile communications unit, but as he does, he sees multiple vehicles speeding away from the area. He wastes no time jumping into his Scout to make chase. He's far behind. He'll be lucky if he can find them again. But then, he spots them. They're looking for someone, though it's not certain who it is. Deputies mention trying to locate a phone inside the garage. Working together with PD Metro, they check inside, but it comes up empty. After returning to the post, a chase ensues on foot, and Stalker rushes to keep up with a charging deputy and suspect. Not one, not two, but 3 arrests are all made on the same street at the same time. Sheriff Resnick means business. Only time will tell if this will cause an even bigger pushback from gang members in the area. Stalker runs into the male he'd interviewed earlier. He's free. He claims they let him go, but then rearrested him moments later, an act he claims is illegal. He introduces himself to Stalker as Kermit and promises to show him through the neighborhood. He leads him down a back alley and tries to get him to hop through a fence, though after refusing, they go on foot around to where red and blue lights can be seen flashing. It's another arrest taking place.
There's people in my life that worry about me. I do feel bad about it, but I wouldn't give up this job for the world. Sometimes I get asked if I'm afraid when I interact with gangs. I'd be insane not to be wary, you know? But I think everyone gets to where they are for a reason. I don't judge, and I appreciate any assistance or tips gang members can provide if they're willing. To gain trust, you have to give it, you know? Might get me killed one day. I guess we'll see.
Turns out this kid is being arrested because he ran from deputies. Deputies continue to detain residents all throughout the early hours. This is an initiative they say isn't ending tonight, but instead will go on for weeks. Coming up next on Stringer's SA, a street takeover goes wrong when one male is shot dead. After a short break, Stalker is back out on the road again, and he hasn't even left Davis when gunshots ring out at the gas station. Approaching with caution, he finds a chaotic scene at the intersection. It's a street takeover. He has covered many before, but none like this. An officer has just shot dead a driver, though it's uncertain why. The cream vehicle in the middle of the intersection lies motionless, its driver slumped over the wheel. Law enforcement aim their guns at passing pedestrians. Everyone is on edge. This could go south at any moment. It's chaos. Even with this many deputies and officers on scene, it's not enough eyes to cover the number of pedestrians at the intersection.
I've covered takeovers before, but they've never been in Davis. I know the group that usually does them. They usually start at the clothing store off Palomino and move around between Rockford and Legion Square, but never here.
A motorcyclist drives directly at a member of SEB as he crosses the intersection and sends him flying. He gets back up and goes straight after the shirtless motorcyclist. He has to be pissed off. Ducking behind a vehicle, the motorcyclist tries to evade the prongs of a taser. When he gets a chance, he runs for it, making his escape with a deputy hot on his tail. He circles around the cars and runs back to hop on his bike, somehow making a miraculous escape. The green car has no plates, and it's one of the main instigators at the intersection. Law enforcement want to get this guy cornered so they can detain him. The male on the bike keeps returning to antagonize deputies. No doubt frustrations are rising. Pursuits continue unsuccessfully, and fleeing vehicles keep returning to the takeover unbothered by law enforcement. Accidents keep happening, but pedestrians on sidewalks thus far have not been hit by any vehicles, though it is a risk. These drivers are very skilled at controlling their vehicles, unfortunately for law enforcement.
I love it when people bring out their lowriders. They're great to photograph. Not too fond of the color of this one, though. I think they call that color Pantone 488C. It's the ugliest color on Earth, apparently.
One deputy loses his temper and strikes at a masked pedestrian in an attempt to detain him. LSSD has been in the area some hours now and are no doubt wearing down as a result. Stalkers filming when the green car from earlier drives directly into his knees, injuring him. It's not enough to stop him, but it's definitely going to hurt for a few days.
Yeah, this doesn't feel great, I'm gonna admit. But nothing's broken, I know that much. I'll just keep an eye on it. I'm not too worried.
It's time for a new tactic. An officer deploys a spike strip and it works immediately. Both green cars lose the rubber on one or two of their back wheels and try to make an escape. Another spike strip is deployed, and it takes out the back wheels of two blue cars. Immediately, law enforcement kick into action to try and detain one of the drivers. A black car rams the unmarked SUV and delays the officer getting out by blocking the door momentarily. The suspect escapes into another vehicle and gets away.
This is why I do what I do. This is really exciting stuff. It really makes you feel alive. If you're a thrill seeker, stringing is a great job, albeit potentially deadly.
One of the blue cars returns and whips a young male off his bicycle, injuring him. Deputies make chase, but the blue car gets away. But not for long. Deputies corner him at the intersection. His wheels can't carry him any further. He gets out and runs. Once inside another vehicle, he departs quickly with a pursuit line behind him. Megaphones are used in an attempt to disperse the crowd.
I think that that might be the night over. I 100% need to sleep after tonight, but I got the shot. Hell yeah.
The blue vehicle is towed away and crowds slowly begin to disperse until the intersection, previously loud and chaotic, is quiet once more. You've been watching Stringer's SA.